You could get to dig against Shadow Claw, Alolan Sandslash, and Force of Shield too, which is kind of nice. Ooh, fantastic lead. I was gonna charm this all the way down. What? Okay. Huh. They don't get a single move? I guess not the Shadow. Oh my gosh, we're in Degen City right now. ABA Rock, this is what you get. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. This week we are in Little Holiday Cup. Personally, I was looking forward to the return of Ultra League Holiday Cup again, but Little Holiday Cup is definitely a new cup with a slightly different spin on things. And I ran a Wigglytuff, Vigoroth, and Palossand team in Great League Holiday Cup. So I thought, you know what? Let's try to recreate that and see how it works. It's worked really well for me in Great League. So I decided to run Wigglytuff, Vigoroth, and Litwick instead of Palossand or its pre-evolution, whatever, because it's just not Sandy Gas because it's not very good in this specific meta. But Litwick is quite good. Also a ghost type that does fairly well into Vigoroth. Doesn't wall it off quite as much like Palossand did, but Litwick in general is just very strong in this cup in particular. I ran the non-shadow Litwick, and I think if you have the shadow variant, Jeff definitely run that instead of the non-shadow. Non-shadow just doesn't perform as well, but I just didn't have a shadow one to run, so that's why I ran the non-shadow. One other thing to note is that you don't really need a second charge attack on that Litwick. Mystical Fire is pretty much where you're throwing 100% of the time, just because it's just less energy than Flame Charge, and you just don't really get to Flame Charge very easily. And on top of that, your opponents are pretty much shielding everything you're throwing at them in Little Cup, so it doesn't even matter if you know, you're throwing Mystical Fire or Flame Charge in that respect. Before we get into the battles, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like private one-on-one coaching, scrims against me, some of my league guides and strategies ahead of time, or even tune into my live stream battles, feel free to sign up through the Patreon link down below. Overall, the probably worst part about Little Holiday Cup is the queue times. There's a lot more people playing Great League right now than Little Holiday Cup, so that's pretty much why I personally stopped playing it after a certain elo. But if you're not closing on the leaderboard range in elo or anything like that, then you should be okay in terms of queues. So the best part about this team is that Wigglytuff is very, very strong in neutral matchups. Even in some not so great matchups where they're resisting Charm damage, Charm just hits pretty hard in Little Cup formats in general. So you can see just charming through a poison type, no problem. So typically speaking, I stay in for almost the vast majority of my matchups. Even this Litwick matchup, just because I can't really come in Vigoroth. And look at this, right? So this is a matchup where, like, yes, I'm supposed to lose, but it gets pretty darn close into a fire type that's supposed to be resisting it. A little accidental swipe by me, end up swapping out, but ends up just being Bisam, so I'm not super worried at that particular time. And we're going to go for the Ember down. Opponent does get to another Bisam, so I'm going to unfortunately have to shield the reduced damage Bisam over the full damage one, but either way, they have a Cottonee in the back. They have to shield this. And then when debuffed, Vigoroth can still do a ton of damage for neutral. So 2 body slams should be able to take this out. But what I found is that having alignments or just having the Wigglytuff alive or just taking out their lead Pokemon typically is a lot more valuable. In this situation, you have Alolan Sandslash that resist the charm damage. You have 2 Pokemon in the back that are double super effective into it, so might as well swap out. They end up having the Shadow Golett, which is pretty strong into Vigoroth for sure. This is Ishikawa Boy, a really great content creator and previous Worlds qualified competitor from Japan. He's usually running something pretty spicy, and Shadow Golett is definitely on the spicy end. I expect him to have double counters to Fire / Vigoroth, and that's exactly what it is. He actually is running Sandy Gas, so maybe it does have more play than I expected. But yeah, double Ghost is going to do quite a bit of work. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to shield even the Sand Tomb, I believe, yeah. Because they're throwing Resisted Shadow Claw. Oh no, it's actually Powder Snow. Yeah, so Powder Snow is even worse into the Wigglytuff. But yeah, it's going to fish me off. So if I don't shield this Sand Tomb, I just get Powder Snow down, which is not great either. All right, so we're going to run it back and see how it goes into another Alolan Sandslash lead. This time it's going to be the Shadow variants. Either way, not great for the Wigglytuff. I believe this one is running Shadow Claw, so a little bit better for my Wigglytuff, a little bit better for my Vigoroth for sure, a little bit worse for my Litwick, but overall those matchups don't really change too much. The Wigglytuff matchup might actually, now that I think about it, because them doing double resist to Shadow Claw damage is actually quite nice for my Wigglytuff. Alright, I'm expecting them to come back in with it, and then they have the Shadow Golett. So actually a very similar team composition as the last one. Is that double ghost? It's a single ghost with a Dragonite in the back. I end up no shielding and going for... I'm probably not going to go for Charm Down. I'm probably just going to throw the Disarming Voice. And we do have it. And yeah, this is actually going to be able to flip it. So, getting a little redemption against the Alolan Sandslash lead for sure. And this is a great example where you just stay in for neutral matchups. Water Gun Lantern, I mean, Vigoroth's okay into it, but I have a great check to Cottonee in the back, and the charm damage just finishes off this Lantern so quickly. And they have the shield if they come in Cottonee, but on top of that, their switch timer is definitely not up yet because this is a low cup, and that Lantern went down super quick. So you want to just take advantage of the timer and don't even wait out anything. I have no switch timer, so there's no point in me waiting anything out. I'm just going to just Ember this all the way down. Looks as they have an ABB Electric Water, so a Chinchou in the back after a Lantern, Water Gun Lantern. And then we're going to go for back-to-back Mystical Fire. Like I said, people pretty much shield Mystical Fire anyway because low cup, even when resisted, does a decent amount of damage. So you can see my opponent doesn't really want to shield a fire attack on their Chinchou, but they kind of have to. And then we're in a fantastic position at this point in time. Grassland does take me out, but I still have Litwick in the back with the shield. Ducklett. Okay, so this one, not very good for your Vigoroth nor the Litwick. But Wigglytuff, again, in those neutral matchups, the charm really adds up. A lot of them go straight for the Bubble Beam. Even if they go Brave Bird, it's not a big deal. You get a lot of foam off of them. They're just going straight Bubble Beam. I'm just going to finally throw this Icy Wind just to debuff the Ducklett. And that actually gets a little bit extra energy with the Vigoroth, which is quite nice. I might be able to grab a shield off of this Cottonee, which would be huge for me because I have the Litwick that resists all the charge attacks and fast attacks from the Cottonee. I might still shield though. Yeah, no, they swapped to Vigoroth, and this is gonna be fantastic for me just because even if they're baiting me, I have a shield advantage, I have the type advantage, the embers are adding up. Like I don't even think they have time to double bait me and then go for a Rock Slide. I could be mistaken. Oh yeah, we go for the catch actually. I remember this game. Yeah, so go for the catch. So just to kind of secure the deal, and they're going to quit out. Another potential thing you might see is Ducklett that goes straight for the Brave Bird. So I'm going to show you why. That's actually not so bad. So this Ducklett, I don't shield either way. And they actually go straight for Brave Bird. One shot my Wigglytuff. I come in Vigoroth. And this is good for me. I know they're going to get to that Bow Beam or Aerial. So I'm just going to not even try to go for the charge attack. I'm just going to go for the straight counter down. And then they have double weak to Litwick in the back. Which makes sense because Ducklett's pretty much the main Vigoroth / Litwick counter. So once it's out of the way, I assume that Vigoroth and Litwick has a lot of play, which typically does. So anytime you get that Ducklett onto Wigglytuff or get rid of it at any point in time, your backline is usually pretty good into whatever they have. But yeah, it's a tough one for them, and they're just out of here. Eevee is kind of an interesting one. Yes, you have kind of neutral matchups with Wigglytuff, but you have two better matchups in the back. And, of course, we draw the Golett as expected. We pretty much have to swap in this situation, even if you don't really want to, because if we just leave this Golett in the back, then I could be in a tough position. Kind of a misplay on my end. I probably should have thrown the Body Slam. Even when resisted in Little Cup, it'll do a decent amount of damage. You might be able to grab a shield off my opponent. They go for the Body Slam. I can't really swap out, and I kind of want to just save all my shields to a Litwick and hope for the best. There's a good chance they probably have a Litwick counter in the back. It's less clear, though, because Eevee's not as weak to fire. But yeah, they go for the Body Slam. No big deal. And it ends up being a Vigoroth. So Litwick definitely has some play in this situation. The problem is I am down a shield. So not the best. And I do have to make sure I shield the Rock Slide. They could always bait me in this situation. I do correctly shield the Rock Slide. However, Vigoroth gets to Rock Slide pretty quickly. And it looks like they're going to hit me with another Rock Slide, and it's about going to be able to do it. Overall, though, the meta is actually pretty solid. Battles go by pretty quick, so if you're short on time, definitely a solid team to try out. Me personally, I still wish that we had Ultra League Holiday, but it is what it is. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you had a great New Year's. Hope you had great holidays. And yeah, looking forward to seeing some of you in Portland. I'll be competing this upcoming weekend. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share. Subscribe for future content. Hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video. And I'll catch you all next time.